Hi guys, welcome to your very first project that we're planning to print. This one is something I want you guys to be able to keep for a very long time and use for a very long time. So we are actually going to make a keychain. In Tinkercad, on your home page, you can find your 3D designs already loaded, and you can do create new design, or you can go to your profile at the top right and click new. It's going to automatically generate this blank workspace and some sort of weird crazy title. Click here to change the name. You are going to put your name, your name's keychain. Make sure you title it this way so that I can find your project and be sure to give you a grade for it as well. Within your workspace, we want to go ahead and pull in just your regular box. And we're going to make its sizes appropriate for a keychain. You want to click on one of the corner white boxes so that we can adjust the length and the width. Right now you can see that it is currently 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters. We want to change this to 175 millimeters by 50 millimeters. 175 by 50. So as you can see, it's still very thick. Now for our keychain, we don't want it to be that thick, so we're going to change it. Click that top white box here. That's how I got there. Top white box, and change this to 2 millimeters. So it's nice and thin, but thick enough to have some strength to it. Now we want to add a hole for our keychain. So just like you would with a normal keychain, there has to be a hole so that you can put the metal ring inside of it. So I'm going to click the cylinder that is already a hole. You can see that's much too big of a hole. We don't need anything quite that big. So we're going to change the sizing on this as well. Let's change it by clicking again one of the corner white boxes to 6 millimeters by 6 millimeters. Okay. You can see it is off center. It's not in the right spot. That's okay. There's an easy way to fix this. So you can either select both of these by clicking one, holding down the shift key and clicking the other, and you'll see the blue line of the selections around both of them. Or you can always click and drag until your box encompasses everything that you want to select, and they'll both be selected. Then we're going to click the align button up here, and it'll give you these little black circles. These are to ask you what area you want it to be aligned on. We want it aligned in the center, so we're going to click the center. Now we know it's perfectly aligned with the center of the red. Once you're here, we want to turn the perspective so we can make sure our hole goes all the way through. So find a good perspective, and then you can take the arrow, sometimes it's up here, sometimes down here, and you can drag it through until you see it on both sides. That most important thing is that we can make sure that it goes all the way through so nothing gets printed there. Once you have that done, select both the hole and the rectangle and group them so you can see it's all one object, and we can see all the way through there. Okay, so now it's time to add the letters of our name. We're going to have to change the drop down from basic shapes to text and numbers and start, oops, before we pull that in, one important thing before you pull in any letters. Change your work plane so that it's sitting on top of this keychain, because we want the letters to pull in right on top of that keychain. So that was clicking work plane, clicking and dragging until you see the little square resting on top. Now start adding the letters of your name. Okay, so as you can see, mine are not aligned, and I did this on purpose to show you how easy it will be to align them all. So I'm going to select everything and again hit the align button and center it, and voila, everything is perfect. Now I do want my letters to be a little bigger, so I'm going to go through holding down the shift key and select each and every one of them so that I can size them at the same time. Again, if you've messed with their spacing, again, you might want to try and align them so to make sure it's perfect. If you want to, you can, and if you have space, you can add, oops, Control Z is undo or undo here if you make a mistake like that. You can add a shape. If you want to add a star or something, you could pull it in to sit right on top just like we did with those. I think I want a heart. Now that is one way to do the letters. There is another way. You might find it a little simpler. Under basic shapes, there is an option to do text. So let's say I pulled in some text. I can type in whatever it is I want it to say. You can also change the font up. Not too many options, but some. I think I like that one best. So I like this font better than the individual lettered fonts, so I'm going to take those out. Spruce this up as much as you want. Add decorations, add a border. One feature that is pretty cool, I find, is the scribble, which is literally you can draw what you want it to look like. So say I wanted to do a border. This is not very good, but I'm gonna show it for example. Draw it. You can see a little preview up here. Click done. And it made my scribble into a shape. Shape that I can stretch to become my border. Now, I don't really love this, so I'm not going to keep it, but that is one option for you to do. So now, this step is really important. I'm going to change the perspective so you can see what's happening. But our font and anything else that's sitting on top, like our heart, needs to have a height of 1. A height of 1. I can change that here, or if I can get this to go away, I can change it here. 1 millimeter. So it's just raised 1 millimeter off of our keychain. So our keychain itself is 2 millimeters high, and the lettering and any decorations are 1 millimeter high. Before you call it finished, change your work plane back to normal by clicking and dragging it anywhere on the screen off the surface. But before you call it finished, you need to check it from every different angle to make sure everything is exactly where you want it to be. You can also group everything so that we've got one cohesive object. Now click off of your object, make sure nothing is selected, and then click Export. Export. We need to export it as an .stl file. So you can see mine downloaded right here, but if you have another pop-up box come up, make sure you click Save File or Save As in a location where you can find it. Mine went straight to the downloads. So if I pull up my folder application and I went to downloads, Mrs. Castillo's keychain.stl is right here.